Primary recording. Hello, welcome back. Episode 31 DB.
Have we done 31 so far?
31.
Wow.
Just like that.
Just like that.
We might have to start season 2, just like we're going to talk about season 2, episode 1. Cheers.
Isn't that like that show that had Sarah Jessica Parker, the continuation of Sex and the City? And just like that.
I
We're
missed
at episode 31.
I missed that. Oh, yeah.
Except for this is no Sex and the City. It's Las Vegas based.
Fleecing in the country.
Yes.
In this week's episode, we are going to talk about Las Vegas numbers. They just were published for the month of August. We're going to talk about Las Vegas sports. The Aces are active right now, the Aviators, and we've got the Golden Knights in the preseason. The British bands and or music acts that are in town over the next week, and it's quite a hefty list. Oktoberfest,
Yahoo.
we're going to talk food inflation.
You know, anytime somebody says Yahoo, I think of Hogan's Heroes.
Do you?
And what was Schultz?
Schultz, yes.
Thus,
are you sinking?
The younger viewers are like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan did what with heroes? Hulk Hogan was an advocate for the military. EV practicality, and maybe a little close to home for you, Starbucks struggles and some layoffs across the company.
Oh, no.
And then finally, after an episode away, we're going to go back to Cheers Talk, this third part of the segment where it's going to be season 2, episode 1, which is the PowerPoint. So with that, what do you like to add before we go out of the intro and the outro?
Put me on the spot like that, Chris. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you? We were just discussing things we'd like to discuss in upcoming episodes. So if you have anything you'd like us to discuss, feel free to email us at
questions@vegasdaydrinkers.com.
or just write your dumb comments on TikTok. We don't mind. We love hearing that we're idiots.
Yes. This is our very informal production meeting for the next meeting.
Exactly.
And we'll be right back with the bulk of the segment.
The sun is up, time to embark. Forget the rules, we'll make a mark. From bar to bar, the world's our stage. With Darren and Chris, we're turning the page.
And we're back, episode 31. I spent the last couple days, Darren, putting together a new list as we are in the middle weekend of Oktoberfest. Mm-hmm. Which historically was the celebration of the marriage of Princess Ludwig and Princess Therese.
Ludwig, everything I think, if I hear Ludwig, I think of the duck.
Yeah.
Ludwig von the crazy uncle to Donald Duck.
There you go.
You know, the Disney cartoons?
Well, it's funny you said duck because the beer we're going to drink this week is from Abel Baker, who's
Synergy.
Yes.
That's what I present.
Yes, she's part of the branding is the duck, and their offering, as it has been for like the last couple of years, is called the Intense Oktoberfest. And
this is not a crazy science duck, it's a drunk duck.
Yes. And Intense loosely translates to duck dance, which I just did a little reel on this because I just put a list out for everybody that wants to check it out.
Unrelated to the chicken dance, or slightly closely related to the chicken dance?
An origin story. So for you, Mr. Marvel, an origin story.
So most people, like I'm sure most people know, but like if you don't know, like the Oompa Loompa music you hear in like the chicken dance, is that German or is that like Mexican? Because you know a lot of
both.
So both that music you hear in Mexico, you know, the Oompa Loompa music is very much so related.
I mean,
to the
both cultures are big with the accordion, right?
Yes. Well, they're related. That's
yeah, of course. Well, because you had a lot of German expats that took off after the war and head to Central America and South America, excuse me.
And some would say Hitler's still living in Argentina to this day.
He's looking great for 103.
Yeah, not bad.
Hey, before we get into this, I ran into Jason and Aaron Chinowick when we were grabbing a pizza last night at Oasis. So they have their own stickers.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to put this on the back bar somewhere, but she said, please, as they've taken some of ours, I can return the favor.
Yeah, so...
Darren's pour is more traditional German than mine on this one if you're watching it live on TikTok.
Somebody's got to be a professional bartender around here.
Because, as the Germans say, Kopf ist gut. But I just did a reel on the story, so I was putting together a list. It is fest.drinkinglasvegas.com. It's a little curated look at the parties that are happening over like the next couple of weeks or have already transpired. and then some
I'm not
mostly
waiting for you
local.
anymore.
What's that?
I'm not waiting for you anymore.
Mostly local beers to check out for the season. Anyway, in the 50s, there was a Swiss guy named Werner Thomas who was an accordion player,
Okay.
and he also raised ducks and geese. And so he was so inspired to write a song about this, and he called it the Intentanz, and it was loosely translated to duck dance. Notes of caramel, notes of malty, notes of bread. Not my favorite local flavor representation. That's in the list at fest at drinkinglasvegas.com. But on the pinch on the way up here, I stopped at Speedy Mart, which is always a good release.
What is your favorite fest beer?
Well,
Would it be a German, obviously?
I mean, you're one, two that I always have to stop
like
and get.
in Germany, excuse me.
Oh, well, I mean, definitely, I mean.
For those that don't know, Chris, after his college years, or during his college years, lived in Frankfurt for how long?
About 6 months.
6 months. So he has first-hand experience.
Yes, and I've been to the home office. But, I mean, the 1-2 stop always here is, I always stop at Hofbrau at some point in the season. I always stop at Tenaya Creek. So from your mass produced one from one of your big six in Germany to your local flavor, the Oktoberfest at Tenaya Creek is always delicious, and Sylvain and I stopped and saw Katie for a quick one last week. But the Intentanz, anyway, was Werner Thomas wrote the song, played it locally at hotels and whatnot, got carried on, moved from Switzerland over to Germany in the late 60s and 70s, to where it kind of took on a new life of itself, where it became Volkstanzen, which was like loosely translated to Little Bird Dance. And then it kind of migrated a bit more into the Oktoberfest, where then some Americans discovered it, found out about it. In 1981, of all places, Tulsa, Oklahoma was hosting an Oktoberfest party.
Wild.
They wanted to bring the duck dance, the Little Bird Dance, to America. They were trying to source a duck outfit for the local news affiliate to do
I know where you're going with this.
an article on this, but there was not a duck costume available.
But there was a
chicken costume available.
I knew this is where you were going.
So, from an American perspective, American filter from 1981 on, what is very popular now known as the chicken dance across all Oktoberfest parties throughout the world, was loosely based off the Intentanz from the 50s.
Cultural appropriation. What Americans do best.
Yes, exactly. Wow, I give you a beer, you give me cultural appropriations.
Hey, it works. It's great, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you know, like somebody told me once, like, we call it Germany. Do you think there's a single German person in the world that calls it Germany? What do they call it?
Deutschland.
Yes. So, I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's just, you know,
Yeah.
culture. It's just what we do. We're just
I think in Hispanic or Latin cultures, it's Allgemein.
Allgemein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think you've been out as much. I grabbed this one on the way over today. I have been at the Hofbrau a couple times. I did dip my toe in Monday night to Silver Stamp, where I so graciously grabbed one of their beer menus. They had their fest party last week.
Do they know you grabbed that?
I'm going to try to tell them I was returning it.
It's like did you fill out one of those? Remember those old library cards where you had to like put your little initials on it and the date, and then you return it by this date?
Yeah.
And then you slip it in the little thing. For the young kids out there, yeah. Well, anyway.
So obviously the room is always very welcoming. They had several expressions from Germany. They had the Dogtoberfest, which is on the list at fest.drinkinglasvegas.com.
Dogtober. Is that where the dogs are welcome to?
Big Dogs Brewing up there on Rancho.
Big Dogs.
So they have their event next week on October 4th for the first time this year. And I was texting my buddy Dan and his wife Paige. DTLV had their first annual Oktoberfest on East Fremont last weekend.
So can I ask you what your favorite beer garden is in Las Vegas? Do you have one? Is there like a good one? Because I know obviously, you know.
I think that's something, as the rest of the country's kind of reintroduced beer gardens post-COVID for various reasons or another. I think that's something that Vegas is kind of lacking.
Oh, yeah, like a traditional good beer garden. Like, I'm from Seattle area. I grew up in the Seattle area, and like an hour and a half east of Seattle, there's a little town called Leavenworth. And traditionally, it was like more Christmas when I was growing up, but they have since become well known for Oktoberfest, and they have some pretty neat little beer gardens, you know, throughout the city.
I guess the naysayers would say that, you know, you only get it for a few weeks in spring and a few weeks in fall, and the build-out probably wouldn't be worth it. But I say, hey, I think it could do well.
I think What I'm sensing from you, Chris, is that we need to start a Spirit Halloween, but have it be Oktoberfest.
I think you're on something.
Rent an empty Rite Aid and
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like what this DTLV did. And I've been hesitant on beer festivals and things for years because I think exactly what this one last weekend was. Maybe the intention was good, maybe it wasn't. But
you know what would be kind of cool, and it's just kind of off topic, but now with these automated cars coming out and everything, because I could see where the city is like, well, we don't really want a bunch of people drinking a lot of beer and just getting drunk and driving home. But if you have Zeus or whatever sponsor the event, everybody gets a free ride.
Yeah.
And that would be a great way to promote safe drinking and but food for thought.
Responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we go anywhere else, I was asking you before we started, what are those crazy videos you see on TikTok with the girls spinning around and it launches them off the little spinny thing, and they're all like sexy beer girls?
I mean, well, you've got like several of those like Carnival-esque games. Like I can't think of the names right now, but obviously it's funny you say that because I actually saw a post this morning that the fest grounds in Munich were closed today for a bit. Overcrowded.
Oh, and well, see, there you go. There you go.
It's the largest. It's not just beer festival. It's the largest festival in the world.
Really?
Continually. Yeah.
I don't know why Vegas has room for more action. So like.
Yeah, and I mean, it's historically it's a 2-week festival, and sees north of 7 million people a year.
They can see it next year, Chris. Beer Fest brought to you by Vegas Day Drinkers.
Yeah, we'll start off with 7,000. But what this DTLV Oktoberfest did last weekend, I talked to a couple people that went to it. It seems like the Dachshund Derby was popular, like the little Dachshunds racing.
Okay.
But I think a lot of people were like, it was free entry, but then you had to get a $10 wristband. But I think the lack of like German options per se, like it wasn't like the German flavors or the fest beers, or be it from Germany or locally, it was like, hey, we got Heineken. Well, if I'm going to an Oktoberfest party, I want the goods.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
I think that maybe that's just these organizers thinking that, it's dumb Americans and they'll just be happy with beer, and you put on a silly hat and some lederhosen, and everything's okay. But again, for the prices that you do get charged, and when you so the $10 wristband allowed you to buy the beers or showed that you were of age at least to get the bet. It wasn't like you were drinking $5 liters.
Yeah. But that would be key, keeping the price reasonable, because I know when we go down to what's the place, Opera House?
Yeah.
What is it, $31 for a liter?
Well,
Something like that, $28.
You're at 25 base price before tax, so then you're up to 27, 28.
I get it, they gotta pay rent and everything, but it's very expensive.
Yeah.
For beer.
And kind of my thought is, it's kind of, I guess, like with St. Patrick's Day at Irish pubs or whatever, it pays a lot of bills that 2-week period.
Yeah, it allows them to stay open for the rest
But
of the year.
also, for if we're generationally going away from people that aren't drinking as much or whatever, and a lot of reason people aren't drinking as much is because they're getting priced out.
Now, in that list that you curated, is there restaurants? Is there the German, what's the German place on Decatur?
Berlin Cafe.
Is that on that list?
It is.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not a deep list as far as places to get the German food. I mean, anybody can spend 3 seconds on it.
Kathy Heidelberg is missed. That place was great.
On East Sahara, was it?
Yeah. They used to have it kind of had a little beer garden feel to it in their little teeny dining room, and they did have music in there from time to time. Yeah,
but Hofbrau's on there, obviously. Berlin Cafe, Big Dogs, a couple other spots. I don't want to give the whole list away, but I mean, I'll get accused of trying to just build a list and not give information for free. But
hey, you know what? Everybody's in this for a reason, not, and it's not just because you want to
Sure, but I break down some of the beers that are not necessarily known right away, but talked about and have all been freely consumed by myself. So and I feel quite confident in what I represent, and I think that
Well, I mean, you live there for 6 months.
Yeah,
so
sure,
I mean,
absolutely.
You pick up more than just the touristy stuff in 6 months. You actually work there.
Right.
You got a job.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like
it's in me.
It's in you. It's within you, and you have heritage, obviously.
Of course.
Your family. Do you know what your familial land?
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people when they ask me what my ethnic background is, I was like, I'm a Euromut. My dad's side's mostly German, Central European. My mom's side's more so Irish. And if you go like going back to the Hofbrau, kind of talking about some stuff later in the episode too with food inflation, is like when we were down there, one of my favorite dishes is the sauerbraten, and not so many years ago, it seems like it was $22, and it was conveniently on the menu for $38.
Wow.
So a $16 uptick, and I'm like,
that's crazy. And that's in how many years?
well, I mean, it's been open 20 plus years, but I mean, you've basically increased it by 100%. You know.
Speaking of like just slight like, are we done with the German stuff, or are we gonna move on?
Yeah.
So a couple things I'd like to add, and this is not necessarily to that.
Sauce.
But one thing, I saw a video recently of the old Paris buffet. Remember the old Paris buffet? It looked like a French village.
Yep. Oh
It hasn't been in use since the COVID. Not German, but French. But similar, and this is what I'm asking you. This is what I'm telling you. I think they should, instead of not using it, I think this year, if possible, they should get some local vendors or hire within themselves and turn it into a little Christmas market. And have like mulled wine and like pastries and cookies and things they do for Christmas market in Germany, Europe, France, wherever, Italy.
Yeah.
And how cool would that be to be able to walk around fully decorated with little bits of Europe all throughout the buffet? Because they have all the stations already. All you have to do is just make different versions of whatever in the station.
Sure.
What do you think about that idea?
It's kind of an idea that's already being discussed. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it kind of came up in conversation a couple of weeks ago.
With who?
Henning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's funny because I saw the video like 2 weeks ago and I really hadn't talked to you about it and I wanted to bring it up to you and I'm like,
yeah. I mean, let's not go too far into the cave here because we don't get some secrets.
Yeah, whatever.
But I mean, but it's like everything. It's like I think. In the early aughts, people kind of came out like these engineering firms or architecture firms, like here's how you build out the same bar, and then it's like there's almost like I always joke that there's an ebook of how to run a festival in Vegas, and it's like not that there's not originality, but like you have people out there that San Gennaro Festival was a couple weeks ago. You've got the Greek Festival this weekend. And it's kind of like okay, I'm gonna go.
The Japanese one.
I think you have a Lebanese one coming up too.
Yeah.
So you have all, and that's fine. That's good, but it's like again, it's these like you're charging these vendors these amounts, you're paying an entry point.
Last time I went to the San Gennaro was like 2018 and 2019, and just it was like $20, $30 to get in or something like that, and then also tickets for rides, $50, $100.
Yeah.
You have like the food is expensive, and and you just eat on plastic tables. For me, the value is not there.
Yeah.
And so you just need to bring some value into the whole thing. I don't know what that would be or how that be. Maybe get rid of upper management and just like let it be a free for all kind of.
Well, I mean, maybe these festivals were an early soothsayer of what the Strip's experiencing right now. Like the value proposition is just not there. It used to be something.
Yeah.
Or like you go out and celebrate the season or a culture or whatever. Back in Kansas City, there was Polski Day, celebrated all things Polish, and it was just like it was a parade, and it was people eating Polish sausages and other traditional, pierogies and stuff like that. Again, this is when I was a kid, so price point we can't even talk about because it's just different time and place.
I had originally talked about doing like a at McMullen's when we were there, when I was managing over there, about doing a beer fest, kind of like. What was that movie? What was the movie where they did the beer fest? Was it called Beer Fest? Yeah. It just jokingly have games and have fun with
Forte
music
and like Ralph Mueller and
like and just have fun with it. And the owner was just kind of not into like a bunch of people getting wasted at his bar. And I'm like, why do you own a bar? We
don't go to their parade.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
So today is Saturday, the 27th, I believe, of September, and the numbers came out for August, yesterday in the local media. So August wasn't quite as poo-poo as July was, but still 6.7% down.
Okay.
But guess what, DB?
What?
Gaming's still up. So as far as the executives and the board members that sit in the ivory towers, everything's bueno, right?
Well, yeah, I mean...
And this is the same day, actually this is the same day that we finished the 5 Days of Fabulous.
Yeah.
That whole...
The Amazon Prime...
type mechanism where you go log on and get all these different deals on Vegas discounts.
Yeah, I don't live outside of Vegas, so I haven't even bothered to look at it. I should probably look at it, but I have, I still haven't even seen the ad, but at the airport, Have you seen the Uber area, the pickup area? They have added like a DJ and like.
I haven't seen it. I read about it.
And they have new signage up in the airport. You know, welcome to Fabulous.
Right.
Pretty cool. It looks great. Good photo ops. Yeah, I mean, I think the whole Vegas is dead thing was just you know how social media now. Did you see the article yesterday about you know how Cracker Barrel changed their logo?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that article?
Not yesterday.
So apparently, what they found is that there was over 2 million posts or something like that of talking about, but they found out that about 500,000 of those posts were bot driven.
Oh, really?
So of the 2 million, like 200,000 posts that they trafficked, 500,000 of them were all bot driven. And it picked up really quick and it would spread throughout all social media. So it just like, it's weird. It'd be interesting to see who's pushing that. If it's like if it's foreign in nature or if it's social media companies just trying to, because we know now that, you know, division and rage is the fuel that feeds this economy, you know. So
it was that narrative.
yeah.
Too soon?
Did you see this week's South Park? I mean, I know you know South Park.
I mean, I know you sent me the clip about Kalshi and all that, but I don't. South Park is just not on my.
Well, relevance. I haven't watched South Park in like 25 years, but this is sheer relevance of it now. Even though I know it's always been relevant. It ended with Netanyahu getting paid a toll.
Oh,
You will.
all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
just listening
they
to the
continue. I
podcast.
mean, obviously, yeah. I guess we're like almost in the end of September now. So some of the conventions are back. I mean, sports are back, which is a good segue. I mean, obviously the Raiders play tomorrow at home against the Chicago Bears. I've been off the last few days, so I'm assuming the orange and blue will travel well. You know, because you're from Chicago, doesn't want to come out to Vegas for a long weekend.
For sure, yeah.
I was referencing in our production meeting that the Vegas Golden Knights are about halfway through their preseason, so they're going to be starting up here pretty quick. The Aces won last night in Indiana, so they're up 2-1 in their best of 5 against.
Speaking of what's her Asia Wilson?
Yeah.
She just got 4th MVP, so best player in WNBA history.
First one ever.
First one ever.
There's 3 others that have 3 times.
To reach that
Yes.
level, like Sue Bird is right there, right? She's won 3, right?
Yeah, her, I think Lisa Leslie, and one other person. So I'm sorry if I'm not.
There's my buddy posted a funny picture because they just put that statue up in Seattle at the Key Arena or the Climate Pledge Arena, and he took a picture of him hugging Sue Bird. I was like, that's pretty funny.
Nice.
But great statue, you know, great. That team has had a lot of support. They've been around since when did the league launched in '97?
Yeah. So
they were one of the first teams. So yeah, almost 30 years old.
And then you go to more of these than I do because of our friend Brian Iverson. Not because of him specifically, but just because you enjoy the process more. But
They beat the Rainiers to go to the championship.
Aviators, yeah. I think they're playing Jacksonville. So you've got women's basketball, you've got football going on, you've got men's minor league baseball, and then you have hockey coming back around here pretty quick. So,
and my Mariners are they just clinched their playoff berth.
Did they?
Yeah, they got 3 games against the Dodgers coming up.
And then your catcher set.
Catcher,
Catcher set major league history too, right?
Yeah. He's most home runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he beat Ken Griffey Jr.'s record.
Okay.
Which is insane.
And he went 60 or more, so one of only a handful of people in Major League Baseball history also.
Yeah, crazy. Mariners are on fire. I can't believe it. I'm not knocking on wood. I can't believe they're actually going to the playoffs. You know, they're the only team I think they're the only team in professional sports that's never been to a championship. Of all sports.
Really?
In the United States anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? In almost 50 years of history.
Hopefully they can do well, because that's good for the sport. You know, it doesn't always have to be the major league markets, you know.
Well, you know, as we know, America is, we're all about the losers. So let's get some winning.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. I win so hard. So, so starting tonight And going through next week, we have a bit of a British invasion, hence kind of an homage to the title of the British sind Angekommen. So tonight you have Ringo and his all-star band
Awesome.
at the Venetian. You have the Who tomorrow night on their closeout tour at Grand Garden Arena, Sunday evening.
First closeout tour or second or third?
I think first one
Okay.
with Billy Idol opening.
Wow.
Yeah. But then, kind of as I was doing some research for this episode, Roger Daltrey said that he's not opposed to,
Doing it again?
touring no more, but maybe a residency because residency isn't touring.
Well, yeah. And can you imagine like if you're a rock star and like, hey, we'll put you up in this venue. You get everything you want. You make a ton of money, and we'll give you a suite, like a 2,500 square foot suite up in one of the hotels.
Yeah.
And luxurious,
And then, Brian May was in town recently from Queen, who watched the Eagles perform at the Sphere. Also is one of the opening things for The Wizard of Oz. So it seems like he's very keen on conversation with Queen doing some sort of, not anything committal as of yet, but seems like there's a lot of bands in the talk. And then I guess the big one to wrap up next week of the British invasion, the Macca himself, Paul McCartney, next Saturday.
Next Saturday, huh?
At Elysian, October 4th. So
Alright.
suddenly all these bands that jettisoned in the 60s and who were, Beatles arguably the biggest band ever.
Yeah.
They're here in some representation or another.
Wonder if Paul or Ringo will stick around and make an appearance at Paul's show.
I guess that's the touring schedule.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool.
It would be.
It'd be really neat. An acquaintance of mine got to work this tour in Latin America. And I'm like, how cool would that be to be able to work it's still a job, but hang out with Paul McCartney for 8, 10, 12-week gig,
Sure.
Wouldn't it be something else?
And not to take away from anything fictitious, but Spinal Tap 2 in theaters soon.
I dread things like that
So
because I'm like, it's been so long, but hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
They'll be a fan. I don't think it'll be a big hit, but I think they'll definitely be fans of it.
Did you, I'm going to go off record here, did you, before we get to the more of the heady, chewy stuff, did you watch the Jimmy Kimmel return to late night?
Yeah, of course I did. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was whether you agree with him or disagree with him, our president gets to say whatever the hell he wants. So
Sure.
why shouldn't a talk show host be able to say whatever the hell he wants?
Yeah.
It's freedom of speech. And I might add that our president works for us, not for him. He lives in the people's house.
Right. We always need the jesters too. Right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's I don't know the quote, but I mean you kill the jesters, and that's when shit goes sideways.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I was I got my hair did a couple days ago because I was overdue on my hair did.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my barber and I was saying it's like, when I first moved out here and TiVo was a thing, I guess it's just how we consume things now, right? It's not necessarily against any of the late night hosts, but like I would TiVo everyone and go watch the monologues the next morning.
Yeah.
Or something. But now it's just so much more easily consumable.
Yeah.
On our phones or YouTube or whatever,
TikTok.
that these metrics that were one thing, and if they say, oh, the viewership is this or the viewership isn't that or da.
Well,
But is that taking into account the metric of who's watching it on TikTok or the metric of who's? You
can see the trend where SNL apparently they hired more people that were like TikTok influencers to be on the show. So the writing's on the wall. These shows are people are always like, oh, they're dead. They're not making any money. And I agree with you. The unions, they're way too expensive. They just need to downsize them and they need to figure out better ways of producing them. We can get into we'll have to get into the whole thing, another day, but I believe when Stephen Colbert gets done, he's done now, he will come back, it'll be a social media type thing, or he'll run for political office, I don't know which, but he can, simply do a new show like Conan O'Brien and have maybe 20 to 30 people doing the show as opposed to 220.
Sure.
And leasing a massive space that's probably costing a lot of
Or
money.
going and buying an old gym in wherever he's from, Illinois. I can't remember where he's from originally, Colbert.
Yes. Missouri or Illinois, one of those.
And kind of like the Pat McAfee thing where they bought an abandoned gym or whatever.
Yeah, when you have podcast influence, people like Joe Rogan, who has a massive following, and you know, advertisers are moving over there. You know, everything's moving that way because, you know, like cable is so expensive. You know, my mom has cable, and her bill, I think, for everything she gets, her phone, you know, cable, internet, is like $300 a month.
Yeah.
So I personally I got rid of cable 15 years ago, and so I've adapted. And there's no new people that are subscribed. I mean,
Which on YouTube for me is a strange caveat because of everything going on in the world the last few weeks. Suddenly I'm being targeted for Labubu furries.
You know, you have shows like Greg Gutfeld of Fox News that his late night shows.
He's annoying.
He is annoying, but his late night show is the most watched late night show on television.
Which I read that recently and it's crazy to me. I mean, I'm not saying, unlike whoever commented about I was dense and stupid because I know who Charlie Kirk was. I know who Gutfeld is, but I was just like...
Well, Fox News is the new, you know, like, remember, like, back in the old days where they're like, hey, you know, you masturbate, it makes you go blind or whatever?
Yeah.
Fox News is the new masturbation. It's like, you watch it, it's going to make you go blind or dumb or stupid.
Well, guess what? I'm 2020, bitches.
And that's all that are watching. All the people that are watching are old people that vote, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they love it. I don't know.
I mean...
My dad is crazy. He's a centrist, and he, like, loves Fox News. He watches it all day long.
I mean, I watched Kimmel's monologue, but guess where I watched it? YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, so...
I actually got back to the hotel and was able to watch it live.
Okay.
My mom couldn't watch it because Sinclair Media refused to broadcast it.
I was almost thinking since you were out there, if you're going to go... I mean, I'm sure everybody like dog wanted to be at that taping, but since you were out there, if you're going to...
No, I went to the show last year. I saw Carol Burnett and some guy. He's going to be like Nick something, Galzantine, like all the ladies love him. He's going to be He-Man, by the way.
Is he now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Big deal.
All right.
One more thing before we move on. Jimmy Kimmel, fun fact, I did not know this until the other day. His first radio media job was in 1989, KZOK in Seattle.
Okay.
And he was fired for making a joke about the owner of the Mariners at the time.
Oh, really?
Because he refused to give, he pulled an advertising campaign to KZOK because of what the joke he said. He's like, and you know what his response was? He's like, I wanted to be like a true Seattleite, so the only way I could do that is make fun of the Mariners owner.
Yeah. It's funny because like I was telling said barber Jimmy when I was at the Hofbrau years ago, 20 years ago, like he popped in one afternoon and had a beer because he had his origin of his family's from back east, but he was fundamentally raised here, right? Or he has Las Vegas roots.
Yeah.
But yeah, just came in.
I think New York born, but was raised in Las Vegas.
Yeah, but just came in one afternoon, kind of this time of year, because who doesn't want a fest beer, right? Yeah. And just sat at the bar, and I'm kind of like, oh, you're doing it, yes I am. Just had a beer. Yeah, just sat there and chatted with him for a minute, all by himself, like a middle of the week out,
Cool.
Usually when quote unquote celebrities are out and about, because no one really expects it in midweek, they always think everybody shows up on Friday and Saturday. Had a beer, small chatted, nothing wrong, on his way.
Nice.
Case of restaurant, auf Wiedersehen.
Nice.
So as we talk about that, let's move into some of the headier topics. You, Mr. Benjamin, who consume how many Starbucks a year?
I mean, typically I go like once a day. Not every day, but pretty much once a day.
So you're not part of the problem, but did you see that they are struggling and layoffs are coming prevalent? I think they're laying off 800 across the nation, which is a minor number compared to how many outlets they have, but enough to get a headline.
I mean, there's good demographics change. They've been around for since 1960 or 1971. And they really blew up in the 90s, and so you think about some of those stores that have been around 20, 30 years. Demographics change over that time, and you got to change where you do business. The one thing I would like to note is like one of their most popular stores in San Francisco, which was a store that unionized. They abruptly closed them like that.
Good day.
And they said it had nothing to do with the union, even though it was a very, very popular store. You could see the BS there, but like again, I'll say it again. Rents have increased so much, but that's another point I wanted to make with you. They are coming down in Las Vegas. Did you see that they just posted an article? Rents have gone down, I think 28% in the last couple of years.
Really?
They're high, yeah. So average rent for an average. I don't know what like Dom said. It's three bedroom house or 2-bedroom apartment. Is $14.50 a month.
In Vegas.
In Vegas. That's what they're saying. That's what the article said.
Okay.
So, you know, if you're paying a lot, you might want to talk to your landlord because it's you know, they might be taking advantage of you, or they just, you know, you needed to consider moving and finding a cheaper lease.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, Starbucks, you know, cost of goods has increased for everything. Rents have gone up over the years. Everything's gone up. Insurance, car payments, borrowing money. So your credit card bills will be higher if you have to have credit card bills. So what are the first things to go? Like movie theaters, Starbucks, those things are sacrificial lambs. You can't go out, make coffee at home for you know, way less than you can buy it for at Starbucks.
Well, you're kind of conditioning some of your statement for what we're going to finish off with on a couple other subjects, but to your point about car payments, when I was doing some research for the podcast today, this trend on TikTok of these people going into these dealerships and asking people, I haven't seen it, but I'll probably see it now because my smartphone's in my pocket.
Yeah.
And asking people what they drive and how much their lease is. And so...
Why?
Because they call it soft marketing, so they're putting it out into the ether, if you will, and they're conditioning these people like, oh, I have a 2025 Hyundai and I pay $750 a month, or I have a 2024 BMW 7 Series and I pay $1,300 a month. So these people openly telling you what they spend on a lease a month is like when they hit you when you go to finance a new car or whatever, and then you're like, oh, well, I just watched all these TikToks over with. So you're conditioned to think like, okay, your payment's going to be $800. Well, that's not that bad.
Oh, I get what they're marketing.
They're marketing.
Gotcha.
So these dealerships are, and mostly from what I've read and understand is it's these dealerships that are propagating that. So when they do these financing deals, because you make so much more money on the financing of the vehicle, that when they like, you know, I mean, if you told me a car payment $1,000 a month, I'd tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have to be.
Well, that's what the trend right now. Like as far as you get almost, if you want anything that's like performance, you're talking $1,000 a month.
At least.
Let's do it, yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
You know? Crazy.
Which to me, you know, like you think about like, you know, when I bought my first house here in Vegas, I don't know, this is gonna sound like an old man move, but like my payment was $1,137.
Okay.
And now, you know, 30-year loan. Now you can buy a car, 5 years, 6 years. They even have 8-year loans now.
On a car?
Yeah, like $8,000 a month.
I mean, and this wasn't too long ago, like just pre-pandemic, since 19 or 20, when I thought $500 was a lot for a payment.
Yeah.
You know, and now you're like double that. People are like, okay.
Yeah, no, thank you.
You know, but going back kind of like full circle to talking about coffee and Starbucks, and like one of the highest like items in the food inflation cost is just since 2020, coffee on an average has gone up 14.5%.
Yeah. Well, like.
So your three major ones are eggs, coffee, beef. Those are your highest performers.
And those are all. I mean, I know beef is it has to do with that virus in Brazil, but also tariffs.
Yeah.
It's costing, you know, we're driving up prices. Eggs, bird flu.
I mean, they're saying
that was they should have recuperated from that by now.
So food inflation for 2025 has gone up 3%. Since 2020, food costs has gone up 25%.
Yeah.
That's just at home.
Yeah.
That's not including like going out cost, which is what we kind of talked about like last week when we talked about McDonald's and having to evaluate their pricing, you know, because the food value is not there. And to your point, they're saying high input costs, supply chain perceptions, tariffs, like you said, shift in consumer spending, and just elevated price levels.
I got hit. I told you a couple of weeks ago. I got hit. I bought an item over a year ago, and when it came time to ship it, they're like, "Hey, you know, we barely make any money off this. We have to pass costs off to you." They had to add an additional $65 for tariffs.
Oh, that toy.
Yeah, and then just recently, a couple other items, they tried to increase the price by 5%, which would have been, or $5, which would have been, you know, the item was $35, so that's a like a 17% increase.
Yeah.
You know, like just because these tariffs, and it's happened to me 3 or 4 times now. And, you know, I'm like, now I'm opting not to buy these things. So, again, you know, I don't know why these companies aren't saying stuff about the tariffs, because it's kind of bullshit. Because, you know, Trump's put these tariffs on Latin America, cost coffee prices go up, your Starbucks goes up. I don't know why people put up with it. It boggles my mind.
I ran into.
And now, did you hear? Not to make this, I'm trying not to make this political, but they're going to take the tariff money that we're giving them in the form of a tax that we're not representative of, because we're not allowed to, it's just put into place. They're talking to give those tariffs to Kansas City farmers because China's not buying any of their stuff because of the tariffs. So the money that we're paying in tariffs, rather than pay down the debt, is going to go to pay farm workers because they're losing money. How fun is that?
Circle of life.
Yeah. On that note,
yeah, pros.
Here's the Gatorade game.
Yes. So kind of like I ran into Noah and Nikki has that spice company, and because I saw this, I watched Clarkson's Farm. It's on Amazon Prime. It's great. He makes where farming issues in the whole of England and whatever, and he wanted to source everything at his. I can't think of the name of the pub right now. Dog something or another, but basically no one in England grows pepper. So it's just a simple ingredient. He's like, because he wanted to source everything, from England and by England for England. But he's like, it would drive the price of these dishes up. So not just the pepper you have on the table, but the pepper you put in most dishes,
Green peppercorn stuff.
And I brought that up to Nikki. I ran into her the other night. She's like, please, if you can get me pepper, because I can't remember how much it went up. And I'm like, where does pepper grow predominantly in this country? She goes, it's really not. I go, well, who grows pepper? She's like, most of the world's pepper is produced and grown in
Germany?
Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
Which I was like, news to me.
Really?
Yeah, but.
Well, for instance, in Kansas, like I was just telling you, they grow a lot of sorghum, which is like a bean.
Yeah.
And instead of buying from America, Chinese people are investing in teaching farmers how to grow it in Australia and Latin America. Okay. So now they're teaching these people to buy it. So they're never coming back to America.
Yeah.
They're like, screw it. So, thank God we're a bunch of alcoholics here in America, because I don't think hops are going anywhere, from Washington.
Well, shit, if there's an abundance of hops or barley involved, maybe drive the price of beer down. You bought a Tesla earlier in the year, and I had a conversation with a woman that ran an ad agency out of LA. Why wouldn't she? Pretty interesting to talk to.
Yeah.
And she does marketing, advertising in the auto industry, and she was going to a meeting somewhere, and then she was headed to Detroit later in the week.
Okay.
To where they were talking about marketing of traditional petroleum vehicles and then the EVs and everything like that.
Yeah.
And she kind of mirror points what you said. EV has challenges, and she was working with Toyota, and then Toyota has kind of said 2 years ago, the CEO hasn't gone away from EV, but has put more of a push on traditional gas vehicles with the hybrid component.
Okay.
That's how they feel and I think in a very short amount of time, some of these hybrid engines on Toyota vehicles will have north of 600 to 700 miles range.
This is my stance on the whole thing. I get it. People love gas. I don't know, it's built into American psyche. But a traditional gas motor has something like 220 parts or moving parts.
Yeah.
That's just more stuff to break. And my car has 7 moving parts.
Sure.
Less stuff to break. So you combine the electric with the motor, you have more stuff to break.
Right.
Even more. So you have more issues. I don't know why people I could, there's tons of videos breaking it down online. I hear people talking about what if there's a nuclear attack, and I'm like, if there's a nuclear attack, we're all gonna be dead. Just the stupid questions that I get, well, what if you have to drive to New York? And I'm like, how many times have you driven to New York in your life? If you're on a long drive and you have to drive a lot and you're in a hurry, let's say you're an Amazon Prime driver and you drive from Washington to New York and you have to be there by a certain time. Yeah, it's not as ideal because you can spend a little more time charging, but your cost is going to be lower.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think her point was reading the metrics and doing the statistics on her agency. It was kind of to the point of what our friend Brian Downey's talked about before. Is like, you know, they have the petroleum-based vehicle and they have the EV.
Yeah.
And the EV is good, but it's almost because of the cost of EVs, because they haven't really come down, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of price prohibitive. So
they're just taking advantage. You know, they don't have to charge that much. They should be cheaper, and they will be. Amazon's got their truck coming out. That's going to be, I think, base price $20,000.
for the consuming public.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cheap model. It's only going to get like I think 200 miles with a charge.
Yeah.
But for just like a everyday work driving truck, if you're just going to the airport and back
Sure.
and go to the grocery store, you're never going to have to pay for nothing.
And I think that's her point of what the big three are kind of seeing, or the big six, or whatever you want to call them. It's like
Ford's got a $30,000 model on the books.
yeah, if you need that as like your daily grocery getter who's getting groceries daily, but you know what I mean.
If you're somebody like me that's old, like 50, I'm 53.
What?
I'm looking at like driving down my costs. I'm not driving as much. I'm not like if you're 20 and you're driving all over the place looking for a mate. Yeah, buy a gas-powered car, but even if you're not driving out of the state, you're not partying, you're not doing a lot, electric's better.
Yeah.
It's cheaper, and especially if you have solar, you're driving your costs down to zero.
There was something about solar I saw in the news recently too, but I can't talk intelligibly about that right now.
That's all right.
But I think that's a pretty good wrap up of episode 31. The British sind Angekommen, which is the British have arrived. So again, Ringo starts here tonight to do tomorrow. The Mac.
I saw him years ago with the Traveling Wilburys.
Oh, nice.
Roy Orbison, Jeff Lynne, Tom Petty, and Ringo Starr.
No. George.
George Harrison. Yes.
Yes.
Ringo did play drums with him occasionally.
Yes.
Yes, he did fill in. Who was it? There was one more guy that was in there. Eric Clapton did he ever perform with him?
Did Clapton do it?
I
I think we got one, right? If not,
Yeah,
please comment and tell us who we fucked up on this time. We'll be right back with a Cheers recap. We missed a couple podcasts where we talked about it, but we're going to season 2, episode 1, Power Play.
Yes.
Be right back.
Yeah,
How we doing, TikTok?
Friday night, the crew's rolling in. Got the tunes up loud, let the fun begin. Chilling by the bar, no stress, no fear. Pass me a cold one, time to shift gears. Everybody's vibing the mood.
I want to go where people know.
Everybody knows your name?
That's right. Cheers.
I think we already did. Cheers.
Yeah. Well, we did Prost, so we're crossing all international barriers.
How many cheers do you know in different languages?
Well, a few.
There's
There's Cap.
Uh-huh.
Hey. So after the successful first season of Cheers, we're back. Sam and Diane have commenced their relationship now a bit.
Yeah.
The kiss has happened.
The Rocky Road.
The Rocky Road has begun after conveying to each other that they want the night to be special. First, obviously,
Sam wants it to be special in one specific way.
Yes.
Diane wants it to be special in,
Yes. As traditional men and women are throughout history. So Sam merely offers the office couch as a ha-ha. And then that's a no-no. And then offers the his own abode.
Oh, God.
Which was a no-no. And
The whole time I watched the episode, I was like, it mirrored like my own relationship. I was like, oh, cringe. It was cringe after cringe for me. I was like, oh my God, the signs were all there.
yeah. Like what in particular?
Oh, I don't want to get into the details, but just the no commonality. Like there was no ever like making somebody always wanted more.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I did notice. Did you notice? Cliff and Norm sat in. It was the first time they sat in their
Yes.
traditional spot, even though they moved around throughout the episode. But it was the first time I think they were there together.
Note that, folks.
Season 2, episode 1, Cliff and Norm
Put that in the production meeting notes.
became best buddies.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
it's kind of funny because I watched this morning, and it's just like, and I've said this before. It's like the show's 45 years old, at least at the beginning of it.
yeah.
And it sometimes it's as relevant as always, and then just how they shoot it just looks so dated,
Yeah.
But it's almost like I was sitting there having my morning coffee,
Mhm.
which consists of Diet Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Healthy.
Some people do Starbucks. Some people do
That's
the
right.
Dew.
That's right. Do the Dew. And I'm just like, but it kind of takes me to a place of melancholy where it just kind of chills me out.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it before. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a no-brainer. I don't have to heavily invest in it. But
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, for that 23 minutes or whatever it is, I'm like,
It's insane because, behind the scenes, the first season was not watched. People didn't like it. They thought for sure they were getting canceled. And I don't know who the CEO of NBC was at the time, like Brandon Tartikoff or something like that.
yeah.
He loved it. He saw something in it, and he brought it back regardless, even though it should have got canceled. They brought it back. And as season 2 commenced, it took off.
It seems like in all the great sitcoms, be it NBC, CBS, ABC, streaming services, it's the summer run when they do replays where it seems to get legs. Like in the initial airing, people aren't watching it or they don't get it, they're caught up in their lives or whatever. I know maybe it's summertime because traditionally they're on holiday, so they have more time. Apparently.
We've got a special guest.
Yes.
My cat.
Yeah.
She's like, she wants to be part of the story.
That's right. That's right.
She's like, I want to be where everybody knows your name.
Yeah. And if you can't have a pussy in a podcast, why even show up?
Exactly.
But I mean, I don't know. So it was kind of the same with Steinfeld. It seems like all the great shows that we've known through the ages, either the great ones just didn't really click to begin with, or the ones that kind of like shot out of the cannon didn't last. And I don't know what the difference was, the narrative, why it was this way or that, but as we look back over sitcom history, nothing was just.
Some executives have better vision than others.
Yeah.
And apparently he saw something that nobody else did. Now, like I'm a Trekkie. Like that show, the original run, they just didn't see it, and the advertisers didn't see it. But the college kids, when it went into reruns, they were like,
okay,
he gained a new life, and then they were like, holy crap, we should have never canceled the show because it was a huge hit.
Yeah.
But because a certain subset of people, the people in power didn't get it, it didn't make it.
I mean, wasn't that the same with like Arrested Development on Fox too?
Yeah.
It was like kind of like this quirky comedy.
Yeah.
And
it kind of barely teetered the whole time, and then it found new life on Netflix, obviously.
Yeah. What was David Cross's name? Tobias Funke.
Tobias Funke. Yes, he was an Albertist.
That's so stupid.
The whole show was absolutely
great. It's great. It's like shows like Dirty Rock. I can never forget my sister, like when Tina Fey's character is like werewolf bar mitzvah, and you're like, what? But it's just this kind of like quirky, corny kind of thing that why these things hit.
Does NBC have the best sitcoms of all time?
I mean, I think they would.
So did we talk about this already? About how I find it hilarious, and we're going to talk about this more in the future. But so with all these mergers and acquisitions, what's his name? The Skydance, Larry Ellison, bought CBS, Paramount, basically.
Apparently TikTok.
And he put a cash bid in for Warner Brothers. Yeah, we did talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's funny that there's going to be 3 major companies, ABC, NBC, and CBS again.
So everything we were trying to go away from.
Yeah. But obviously Netflix is in the game too, but it's everything that goes away stays the same. People just love nostalgia. They just love doing the same thing over and over again.
Sure.
That's why you read history, kids.
That's when we buy those big red flags.
Speaking of history, what is that law that the Germans?
The Reinheitsgebot.
Is this
the Purity Law of 1516? That is probably not, but it's water powered malt hops.
Somebody on TikTok was like, German beer sucks because they had a stupid law. I was like, that's a little hilarious.
It's only been in existence for 500 plus years.
Hey, well,
they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good wrap up. All right. See you next time, episode 31.